Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to the first ever time I've done a critique in a online class. um, I wanted to I wanted to do it this way by talking to you instead of replying with written messages, just because I think it's a little bit more natural for me to give you my feedback. So let's see how this goes. I've taken everybody's work and put them into a PowerPoint, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to critique projects 1 and 2 separately to keep the videos shorter. So I'm just going to go through. The first one I have is Tiffany's, and these are really tight. They're very, very cute. She got a lot of good responses on them. Um, there's a couple of things I really like about them that I want to point out to everyone, because this is something I thought was a little weak with a few of you. Um, her curves are nice and even. They're not wobbling, and the reason this is because she does not have um, an overabundance of anchor points. I'm going to just show you something real quick in Illustrator before I go on. Whoops, that's PowerPoint. Let's see. Let me open up Illustrator. Um, there's something. Okay, it's gonna be grayed out, but um, it says object path. Okay, let me just open something up. Uh, Open up anything recent. Let's see here. Okay. Well, just that's just what happened to be on my desktop. So, okay, I'm gonna highlight one of these paths, and what it says here is object. If you go to path, um, and there is a option called simplify right here, um, and that will clean up your path. And what it does is it looks for the excessive anchor points that make your lines all wobbly. And one of the things about Illustrator, it's great to do hand-drawn stuff, but part of the beauty of this program is that it can give you like a mathematically clean and precise line and geometric shape, and you can do this without having to get out a bunch of measuring tools like we had to had to use back before Photoshop, which back before Illustrator. And I actually do know how to do the old way with like compasses and French curves and protractors and all that good stuff. And so, in order to get that kind of commercial look, which is what we want with Illustrator, is the commercial kind of look. I think that these are, I mean, I can see a couple little wobbles where I can tell, like right here, you've got a couple of extra anchor points that are probably overlapping. But I mean, for the most part, I think your curves look really, really good. I really like the way that you've used very minimal and very effective shadows and gradients. I like that you didn't go crazy with it, that you just barely put a little bit of highlight and shadow here. Didn't go overboard with the pink, or the red, just kind of enough to get the point across. And see, I think I like the bags under the eyes on this one too. I think everybody said their favorite one was, I think this is the one that most of the people responded to. It's just really cute. So good job on this. Okay, so let's go on to Carissa. And these are also very tight. I she's used a more linear style. She's got more of the straight edges. I can tell that she was working with the path here, and allowing it to do what it does, which is make perfectly straight or perfectly curved lines. They're very consistent, and also I think she did a very nice job with the gradients, just kind of minimal. That one's really cute. I think she got a lot of responses on that, and I particularly like the color choices she had here, where it's very subtle, but there's a red violet and a blue violet that kind of come together for her blouse, and I think that looks cool. Um, This was, let's see. Yeah, that one's really cute. I think they're all cute. I like this one just because it's kind of unexpected, and all of her characters, they fit together well. They're stylistically connected. Um, they all kind of have this slightly blocky look. You know, she's eliminated curves and replaced them with straight lines for the most part, and that really comes across in this one. So I think you also did a really nice job on this. That one's adorable, really cute. Cute all the way around. You guys did a great job on this. Okay, and then Raul, let's go to yours. So you had like a zombie theme, which I think is great. One thing, the first thing I noticed, and I also noticed one of the other students commented on this, you need to take better advantage of the space. You know, like I think when we're focusing on something that we're drawing or creating, we get really focused on the object itself, and we need to think about the object and the space around it. And so, you know, if you have like a format of 6 by 6, you're really supposed to, you know, make it go as big as it can without cutting off the edges. And this is a super easy fix in Illustrator because all you have to do is highlight everything and hold your shift key and drag a corner. So that would be something really easy to fix, and since it's a vector, it wouldn't matter if you're, you know, it wouldn't make it all pixelated or anything. But these have a lot of personality. There's a little bit more of, and I don't mean this in a negative way, because I think this is intentional. But you know, the when I say crude, I don't mean that like bad. I mean it's crude, like it's got kind of an irregularity to it, and I think that's appropriate for something like this. You know, it kind of resembles you know, the way a child might draw something, and again, I do not mean that in a bad way. I think that this is intentional, and I think it's very appropriate for the subject. So that one's cute. I'm not sure I would have gotten rock from that one, but yes, but sleepy definitely. It's really cute. That one's cute. I don't know. That's probably one of your best ones there. No, actually, I think this is your best one. This one, I think it has kind of a nice balance of that childlike hand-drawn quality and a little bit of geometry happening in the head too. You know, I think that you've got the head that is kind of a little bit more precise, and then, you know, having that combined with the more rough lined technique, I think really works. And I think this one has the most facial expression too. And, you know, if you were going to go on to, you know, complete a pack of these or a whole set of these, you might want to develop this character a little bit more. I think they're all great. But yeah, he just seems much more resolved than the other ones. He seems a lot more confident. Like you as the artist are more confident in what you're doing in this one. So I love the teeth. That's great. Okay, and then we've got Alan here. Got a lot of good comments on this because people were saying, oh, it looks like the real thing. It looks legit. It's like, yeah, that's what Illustrator is supposed to do. It's literally a program that you would use to do commercial illustration. And, you know, one of the things that I like about this is, you know, again, I can see that he was really using Illustrator the way it's supposed to be used, with you know, the very clean, smooth, geometrically accurate curves. You know, he was using his path tool very well, and it's not easy to do. You know, I don't expect you guys to master the path tool in one assignment. It takes a while, and it is hard to learn. And so I'm really, you know, proud of you guys for sticking it out and working through it, especially without me being there to help you. You know, so just nice work. But I think it's really cute. He said, did you say this was based on your cousin? Yeah, I've got a teenage cousin, and this is kind of based on typical facial expressions that a girl that age might make, and you know, the sarcastic clap. I mean, that one I think really most closely conveys the emotion that you were trying to get across. but they all work that yeah that they all really work very nicely. So I think that you got really good feedback on this one. This is another one where I really like the very subtle but very effective use of gradients, not overdoing it. It still kind of has that flat, almost like a paper cutout quality, but just enough shading, shadow and highlight to just give it a little bit more depth. And these are very, very simple, and they need to be simple because emojis are small, emojis are tiny. So good work on that one. Let's go to Jessica. Also did some nice gradients. Maybe a little bit heavy on the black on this one. I probably would say, um, everything's really working great in this. I love the way the two eyes are different. I love the expression and everything. But one of the first things my eye went to was the black, and I think it's a little heavy. Probably instead of having this gray out all the way to black, I think if you had stuck in this range that I'm kind of pointing to with my arrow right here, I think that would have been more effective. Like I say, it just takes some getting used to. Much more effective use of the gradient here, and it's a lot more subtle. I think also a lot of it just had to do with the amount of contrast there is between, you've got this super bright color, and then you've got this super neutral black gray, and I think that maybe a warmer shadow, maybe a shadow that leaned more towards orange or brown, might have been a little bit more smooth transition in that one. But that's really clever. Very, very cute. I think this is one of my favorites that you did. I was a little confused, like he's hungry, but his face is not a color that we associate with food. Like if you do some color studies, blue is actually like the most unappetizing color. Like people use blue, uh, like they'll put their food in blue bowls and stuff like that so that they don't eat as much. And restaurants never paint their walls blue because they it's studied, proven, that the colors that make you hungry are more the warm colors, the colors we want to associate with food, the reds and the oranges and the browns. And I think just because there's virtually nothing in the natural world that we eat that's blue, we kind of we kind of associate that with actually the opposite. So I would probably question that. It looks great, but I think it just kind of sends a mixed message. But I mean, otherwise, I think it's really, I love the salivating. I do think that on your curves here, some of them are really nice and precise. These, I like that they have the hand drawn look. I still think they could be a little bit tidier though. And same thing with this. I think if you clicked on this path and said simplify, and did it with this path down here as well, I think that you would see it would still have that hand-drawn look, but it would be a little cleaner, a little bit more smooth, and therefore it would go better because this is a perfect circle right here, so therefore it would go better with it. But yeah, I think before I put that one out there, I might change the colors. This is everybody's favorite. We love this one, right? I think that we all agreed. Uh, I could use that one almost every day, right? At the end of the day, and I think that just really gets it across. My batteries have run out. There's nothing left, and so I think you got a lot of good feedback on that one. It's really, really effective. And and then the stinky trash can. I think also when we look at that and we just immediately think something stinks, something smells really awful. I like this little pile of trash that you have here, and I think your lines in this one, for the most part, are cleaner. Again, probably just because they're short lines and they have fewer anchor points. One thing I might suggest just for consistency is maybe choose one or two of these lines that are working. Like this one I think really works, this one really works. And instead of drawing each one of these individually, maybe duplicate this one and this one a few times, and kind of alternate them or kind of sprinkle them randomly there so that there's a little bit more regularity. Oops, sorry, let me go back. And the same thing I would say probably, instead of hand drawing each fly, well, that's one way to do it. If you want it to, if you want it to have that hand drawn look, that's one way to do it. But I think that with the trash can being as geometric and symmetrical as it is, I think it's a little bit confusing to have these clean lines with these more, whoops, sorry about that again, with these rougher lines. And I would say draw one bug that you like. They don't have to be perfect. I like this one because it's the wings are not the same, the body's not the same, but it's very balanced. And I would probably just repeat that one and just put it in there at different angles, and it would look like a different fly. But it would also have that consistency. So, and then it also makes your life easier. If you're doing graphic design, a lot of times you're working under a very, very tight deadline schedule, like, everything, they need it yesterday kind of thing. And so, you really have to learn how to make these processes go faster for you. And, it just comes with time. It just comes with practice. But nice work on that one. And let's go on to Kevin's. Very cute, hungry, lazy. That one's adorable. Sleepy. And I'll probably just say the same thing, just as far as line work is concerned. I'm seeing more of a geometry happening up here, and more of kind of a hand drawn look in the body, which they're conflicting with one another. And I think that you could probably do the body, like, say, by making ellipses and then connecting them with your Pathfinder tool. That might be a little bit more effective, because you do have the very regular shape to the hair, to the bubbles, to the bow on the head. Even the mouth is fairly geometric. And so, that's something that I just saw on most of you is most of these, is that I think some practice with those path tools would be great. This one's great. Look at her eyes. That's just that blank stare that people get after hours and hours of gaming. Of course, that's not anything I really have experience with. There's kind of one disconnect between myself and the generation of students that I'm working with, is we just, I guess we had games, but I just never was interested in them, and they were nowhere near as sophisticated as they are right now. But I'm trying to learn an appreciation for them, because I realize how important they are to all of my students. They all say they want to, design these things, as a career, and so I'm really starting to appreciate them for their technical qualities. I have no idea how to play. I don't know what all the buttons are for, but I can appreciate the ones that are like really well done, and I can understand why you guys kind of get lost in these stories. They're pretty cool. So, oh yeah, that's me. That one I can relate to a little bit more. And also I think this one is, the facial expression is great on this one. I like the body looks a little bit better. It's a little bit more regular. Clearly the barbell looks nice and even. I think this one, out of all of them, whoops, let me go back just for a second. Out of all of them, I think that one's probably your cleanest one. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think that last one is probably like the most tight, but I think they all get the point across, and I like that you've got kind of a consistency with your figure. Okay, now I've got one more. I have it in a. Let me just close out Illustrator here. For some reason, this one had a different format, and it's wider, and I couldn't figure out how to fix it. But when I tried to combine it with the other slides. When I tried to combine it with the other slides, it either smushed them or stretched them out, and I didn't like that. So I put, I believe this is Maricela. Yes, I put this one separate. So let me start a slideshow real quick on this one. Okay. And these are also very effective. This is one of the ones that I would bet you, unless this is what you want, and it may be what you want, because it's very perfectly round, And that wobbly line kind of looks like it's intentional. If it's not intentional and you want it cleaner, use that simplify tool, or just draw a circle with with your circle maker or whatever. But these are very simple and they need to be simple. This is everybody's favorite, and we're all just like, yes, I need that one. Technically, okay, I'm going to admit I'm really bad about this myself. I do text and drive, and I know that that's a very, very bad thing to do. It's probably even worse than drinking and driving in some circumstances. But I like that you have this little thing like, hey, I can't text right now. I'm driving. But of course, you still have to text to send the emoji. But I guess you're just clicking one thing instead of, writing out a whole message. So in a way, that's safer. But I think this was a great idea. Yeah. Maybe even like a red slash, the circle with the red slash through it. I don't know. Maybe that would be too much, but maybe something that suggests no, something that suggests not just I'm driving, but I'm driving and I can't do anything else, so there might be a little bit farther you could push that one, but I think it's great. Yeah, we love it. That one's really, really cute. Hello, high five. Um, yeah. Wow, how polite this is. I'm not going to sit at the table and text while I'm having a meal with my family or my friends. Very appropriate, and I don't think I'd ever thought of that before. But I think that is one thing that a lot of people find annoying, and I know we're all guilty of it. You're at the table with your parents or your friends or your family or something, and that urge to text just becomes overwhelming. And if somebody sees you texting at the table, they get very offended, with good reason. So this is a good way to just kind of nip it in the bud, right? Nice idea on that one. And this one's really cute. Yeah, and I guess the more I look at these, the more I'm thinking that the irregularity of this line is working for you. It's just kind of got the right balance between being perfectly round enough and imperfectly irregular enough that makes it look very intentional. But the thing that these have going for them is their simplicity, and as we all know, these have to be simple. If you're going to take something and make it little tiny like that, a lot of detail is not going to help. So I hope I got everyone. Please let me know if I somehow overlooked you. I was trying to get all of these off of the critique forum. And if they went out of order, I might have skipped somebody. I haven't gotten to know all of you yet. So if there's anybody I skipped, please let me know, and so that I can record another critique of that. I want everybody to have feedback from me. And I'm kind of new to doing it this way, so forgive me if I make mistakes the first couple of times, but excellent work, you guys. I'm very, very happy with the way the emojis came out. So yay. And you guys had great comments to one another. I really appreciate that you guys are communicating with each other as much as you are. This is kind of telling me that this class is working successfully. So keep up the good work, you guys.